Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is a new video here and it's inspired by the 25th anniversary of the Sims franchise, which is today. Believe it or not, I am an OG Simmer and I am excited that the Sims accompanied me through my entire life, really. So why to not celebrate the 25th anniversary together? And what I did here is a speed build of a building which is in the shape of 25. It was a little bit of a struggle because of curved walls, and if you are building in The Sims, you know that curved walls are a bit glitchy, especially that cut out part around top of the two. I couldn't make it with the curved walls because I couldn't get rid of a ceiling, so it's made manually and just like drawn. But overall, I think I did a pretty good job with shaping this entire building to 25. As I said, it's 25th anniversary, that's why 25. And I still have some building ideas which I would like to do regarding this anniversary, so stay tuned to my channel, and if you're not subscribed, consider to subscribe if you like gaming content and The Sims especially. Originally, I wanted to make this as a house, but then I was thinking it's pretty big, so I will turn this from a residential lot to generic. And I was just thinking what to build there, and I think the best part is to do like a community lot which has a multi-purpose use. Also, if you notice, I use the green color to make the roof. And it's just because green color is iconic for The Sims, so I wanted to make this building to blend in a little bit, but also to stand out. That's why there is the outline of the white fence around all the roofing. But back to the building itself, as I said before, because this lot is quite big and this building is quite big, I didn't want to make it a home because I feel like it's quite hard to furnish something of this size, and I did struggle. However, there are a lot of things that you can obviously place into community lots. I wanted to have this some kind of theme, so it's like a community space where you can go with your friends. It's gonna have a gym, it has like a small cafeteria, it has bathrooms, of course, and it has a small library and a gaming room where you can play with your friends, of course, The Sims. Apart from that, there is also room for music instruments and also a painting area. There's a painting easel and a bonsai tree that you can work on your gardening skill too. Generic lots are quite tricky in general because they don't require anything specific, so you can place there everything what you want. But what I noticed is that it naturally doesn't get filled with people from the neighborhood, so if you want to have a lot of people in the lot, you will probably have to create the group with the Sims from your contacts and bring them over with you. However, I had a person who turned out unexpectedly and was not a friend of mine and came there to that lot, so I don't know how it really works, but generally I think it's not filled with townies, so bear that in your mind. And if you want to, you can of course switch from generic lot to some kind of lot like a library or a gym, and I'm pretty sure it should work. I'm not sure if I filled all the necessary things in there, but I am sure you can adjust that in case that you will want to switch from generic to some specific community lot. But it works for me because I just take my sim there and work on the skills. And it's funny that you can basically live here, however you cannot actually live there, but there's no bed. But apart from beds, I think there's everything your sim may need. I don't know, it depends on a specific skill for sure. But as I said before, you can take your sim here and work on quite a good amount of variety of skills. I'm talking about you being able to take your sim here. I will upload this slot to my gallery of The Sims. My ID is same as my nickname on YouTube. It's Absolutely, and you can find all the builds that I did before. There is not a huge amount of the lots in the gallery because apart from The Sims, if you know me, I do play a lot of variety of games. I play a lot of FPS games, and my last couple of years were invested into Apex Legends and into other hero shooters. So I did not spend that much of time in The Sims. However, I would really like to go back to this because, as I said before, The Sims always been a huge part of my life. I grew up with The Sims, and I love this game. I love this game so much, and I basically own every DLC apart from certain kits. I am not a massive fan of those because I don't think generally they are super good value, but I own some of them, and in this build there is a part where I'm using the Lil Simsy gamer kit or comfy gamer kit. I honestly felt like I had to buy that one because first of all it supports Lil Simsy, who I think is an icon of the Sims community, and second, I am a gamer myself and I miss a lot of things in the Sims that there could be there to make the game realistic or more realistic for me. So I bought the comfy gamer kit and I'm using some items here in this build, but if you don't have it, I am pretty sure you can still download the building itself, but it's just gonna be missing a couple of things. It's not a huge amount of them, but I'm using a rack, a keyboard, and I'm using the game controller. So I think that's all what I'm using from this kit, but give it a look yourself, and if you download this, you have to check out what's missing compared to the video, for example. Right now, as you can see, I am working on a cafeteria and I will rebuild this a little bit more. Also, please don't judge me, but I am something which you could call a jumpy builder. Like, I go from one room to another because when I find something in the objects that I want to place in another room, I will just go there. So this is not very systematic. I'm going from one room to another. I am trying to usually do one room at once, but I do this quite a lot, that I go from here, there, you know, and you're gonna notice that in this build. I apologize if it bothers someone, but that's the way how I build, and speed builds in general are quite hard for me because sometimes I get stuck in the menu looking for the certain objects that I want to place, and it takes forever, so I have to edit quite a lot of parts out. But that's just how it is when you're building. I don't know, let me know who are you, if you are like a very systematic builder and if you know ahead what you want to place when you're building, because I don't. I just build and kind of think about what I want to put in there during the game and during the building itself. In general, I am a builder in The Sims, and I always been. That's something that I always loved about this game, the creativity that the game offered you. And I always was a builder since The Sims 1. Since my childhood, I used to kind of create plans, floor plans, and I used to draw in like 3D Architect and stuff like that. I always loved that. And The Sims was perfect game for me because of this. And I also like the gameplay because there are so many options you can do. So I like every aspect of the game. However, I don't really like to create the sim or create a sim. I know some people love it. I don't really like to spend much of a time in there. I spend the time there when I'm creating a sim for a certain story, if I play for like a challenge or something like that. But apart from that, you won't see me spending a lot of time in create a sim because it's just not my favorite part of the game. I am talking about you won't see me spending a lot of time in create a sim. Where you can actually see me playing games is a Twitch. I stream there every evening. I don't stream much of Sims content. However, with the re-release of The Sims 1 and The Sims 2, I would like to spend more time streaming those titles, and maybe The Sims 4 as well. Or maybe The Sims 3 too. I don't know. I have everything. I own everything, and I love each of the title. So maybe you will see me playing all 4 of them. However, I don't know how my PC would run The Sims 3. We all know that The Sims 3 was very demanding, and although I have a quite decent PC, I still feel like it's gonna struggle with the open worlds and just in general, because The Sims 3 is not very like supported. And when I say supported, I mean that there are no more updates for the game itself. However, I know that there was a recent update for Sims 3 which was fixing some issues for Intel CPUs. I don't know much about that because I personally have AMD, but I would love to see some more updates for The Sims 3 as well as for all the titles, because when they re-release The Sims 1 and The Sims 2 now, I really hope that they will continue working on some updates for the game, especially like quality of life updates, because I know that some players do have quite a lot of issues with those titles. I didn't personally myself have much time play that since the re-release on Friday last week, but I would like to spend more time in the game. The Sims 1 and The Sims 2 are still titles which deserve some love. However, if you are new to the Sims franchise, I would definitely recommend you to buy The Sims 2, if anything, of those two. And the best thing is to probably purchase the bundle. I was talking about that in my previous video, which is my review of The Sims 1 and if it's still worth playing that. And I think that for people who know the franchise and who played The Sims 1, it's worth to play this. But for the new players, I'm not so sure about The Sims 1. It really depends how you like the graphics, because it's isometric camera, and I think it may bother someone who is used to modern look of the games. But for me, even I am called as a graphics snob, I don't really mind that, but that's because I have a soft spot for The Sims in my heart, and I think that I would excuse them everything. And that's a little bit of a trouble as well about The Sims in general. I know that people are quite upset about all the bugs in the game, and I was thinking about it today. It doesn't bother me that much, which is probably a bad thing to say. I just love the title on its own, and I noticed a huge bug actually when I was doing this build and when I was playtesting it. I do have that bug when it's raining inside of your house if it rains outside, and that is quite annoying actually. I don't know what is that related to, but I know that people noticed that like a couple of weeks ago when the big patch came out around like first or second week of in January, when they released the roadmap for The Sims, and there was the update for the new look of the loading screen. So I do still have this bug where it rains inside of my house, and that is something that I would expect them to fix really quickly, but it hasn't been fixed yet, which is quite funny. But back to this build, you can see me now doing the room with the music instruments. I generally don't like to place anything apart from like violin, which you can put into your inventory in your household, because I feel like it takes so much of space. Here I am back to the bathroom, and you saw that I placed the shower in there, because if you see in a previous part of the video, I built a gym, and it's quite necessary to have a shower for your Sims on the lot where is the gym. And because I have just a small bathroom here, I placed the shower to the very first one. When I was thinking about all the items that I want to put into this build, I knew that I want to do something like a gaming cafe, or not necessarily a cafe, because I knew this is going to be a generic lot and I will not have any Sims working in there. But I place a room next to these two bathrooms, which is kind of like a gaming cafe. You will see that in a little bit. I am pretty happy about that, because I feel like sometimes if you're building a small household or if you're building small builds, you might not have a space for the PC there, because in very limited area, if you do a micro home, for example, it's taking at least 2 squares if you put like a small table and a chair and a PC or a laptop on the top. However, I usually solve that problem with the laptop that I put on the dining table. But yeah, PC is something which can take up some space, so you can just come here and do your stuff here. Or if you are doing some challenge where you are starting with a limited budget and there is no budget for the PC, again, this is something where you can come and where you can do stuff on the computer. Like in that previous event with Jasmine Holiday for the Christmas or the holiday event, you needed to do a lot of research on the PCs. With my household that I played for that event, I was just going to the library because I didn't have a computer at my home. But yeah, it is up to you, of course. As I said before, I'm a builder and my favorite builds are usually quite tiny. I love to do micro homes or micro buildings, tiny homes. It's my preferred way how to play the game. And the reason why it's my favorite way how to play the game is because you have quite a lot of buffs if you have micro or tiny home. There are 3 different sizes of the house and you have certain buffs in each of them. But I prefer to do micro homes just in general because it feels cute and it feels like you really have to think outside of the box where you place certain things and how you will use the area for a multi-purpose use in general. So that's the way how I like to play, and I have some of the videos of stop motion builds of tiny homes or actually micro homes on this channel. So if you want to check them out, it's the yellow cottage and it's a cozy blue gen. Those are my favorite tiny builds, and you can also find them in my gallery. Apart from the 25th birthday and anniversary that it's today, and there's this huge 25-hour live stream on Twitch for The Sims, there's also events starting on today. And if you are not new to my channel, you knew that I was doing a gameplay videos of those events or of the last event of the holiday event. And I am planning to do that again. So today will be released one more video in the evening if I will make everything on time when the event starts, and I will let you know what you need to do to reach all of the event rewards and what is in the event actually as a reward. I am actually really looking forward to play that because it's nice that you play for certain things that you can get for free. However, I'm still not so sure how I feel about these so-called Battle Pass events where you get stuff for playing. I think it's generally not very hard to achieve what is needed, so if you invest a little bit of time into the game and complete those challenges, you get free stuff. It's just very difficult because there's this fear of missing out, and some people may be really upset if they are not able to get that. However, I think there is usually quite a lot of time, and it's not at least the login reward. I think that login one is really bad. This one you can generally do in maybe half an hour all the time total if you wait for all the weeks to unlock first and then do it all at once, or maybe a little bit more. So I think that is acceptable to invest into the game for some rewards, but I am still not sure how I feel about that. Same like about kits, because there are certain kits, as I said before, that I really like and I bought, but I feel like most of them do not have a good value and they are not worth buying because of the amount of items in them. But that's just my opinion, and I know that people can say, oh, it's just $5, it's just the value of one trip to Starbucks or something like that. But if you count how much money you actually spent into the game with every new DLC coming for $40 or £35. I live in the UK, so I will talk about the prices in pounds probably in the video. However, I know the prices for the American market. But yeah, in general, I feel it's not a good value to invest that money into kits unless it's something that I really feel like I need, which there are just a few of them. It's usually something which adds a new gameplay. For example, I bought the Bust the Dust because of being able to vacuum, because I really like the realism in the game. But it makes me a little bit sad because I know it's quite pricey and not everybody can afford to buy all the content for The Sims. And although there are some people who are making custom content, I am not a big fan of custom content either, because you never know what's gonna break your game. So yeah, it's quite tricky. I would actually love to know if you can let me know in the comments what is your favorite kit for The Sims and if you buy them. Because I'm quite curious. I would really love it if you told me, guys, how do you feel about them? And also, I would like to know if you can let me know in the comments what would be the thing that you would like to see in The Sims in the future, because they are not stopping with the DLCs. There is a new expansion pack coming in the March, I think. I'm not 100% sure because it's not confirmed yet, I think. But if they will stick with the pattern that it always used to be a thing to release expansion packs every half of a year, it should be in the March or the end of the March, I think, to get this new expansion pack. And people are talking about it, that it's gonna be free time, or it's gonna be like a free time in The Sims 2, and we will have some like hobbies and stuff like that. I am curious about it because I'm not sure if I saw a picture where you were able to make your own car again like it used to be in The Sims 2. It was my favorite activity, but there are no cars in The Sims 4. So I don't know if it was just a fan made or if it was like a hint that maybe we can have cars coming. I don't know. I don't want to cause any speculations, but it would be awesome to have cars. And actually, what I really miss in The Sims 4 is the open neighborhood. It's basically availability to kind of walk between lots. However, I know we can still do that like inside of certain quarters. You can walk from one lot to another without the loading screen. But if you want to visit a specific lot, which is for example museum or library or something, there's always this loading screen and you have to travel there. When people ask me about The Sims as a game in general, I always talk to them and I always say that I would love The Sims 4 to be with The Sims 4 graphics, with open world from The Sims 3, and with the gameplay of The Sims 2. Because I think that would be perfect. Like, gameplay in The Sims 2, I think was the best gameplay. The details, the animations, everything what was in the game, I just think it was perfect. Right now you can see on the screen that I'm decorating the building with the balloons, the party balloons. I felt like I need to add something which it makes a little bit more like a party and celebrating. So I found some items which could be used for decorating for a party. I didn't want to use so many different DLCs in this build, and I'm pretty sure that I still did quite a lot, but I didn't want to use too many because I know that not everybody has everything. So I didn't want this house or this lot to be filled with like all the packs. I hope that I kept it a bit limited, but I'm not 100% sure. It definitely uses quite a few. But it's really hard in general to build only with the base game. I do actually build base game houses, and as I said before, I was talking about those micro homes, which is the tiny yellow cottage or micro yellow cottage and the cozy blue den. Those are both buildings which I used only base games, so if you have only base game, you can download them without any worries and you will have everything functional and the house will be fully furnished. What is important about all the builds that I am uploading to the gallery, make sure to activate the bb.moveobjects on first if you are placing them, because I use bb.moveobjects in all my builds. It makes you freely place an object, and it can even overlap in your build with something else, so make sure that if you have that activated, that you don't place your object inside of something else. It's not gonna work. But yeah, make sure to activate the bb.moveobjects on if you are placing any of the lots that I uploaded to the gallery, because without that it will be probably broken. I think the game itself usually gives you the notification that this lot was built with the move objects on, and if you want to have it placed as it was intended, that you have to activate it first. But that's just a small disclaimer for all the builds that you download from the gallery, and the majority of the users, majority of builders do use them, so it's a little tip for you to make sure activate bb.moveobjects on before placing any lots from the gallery, and you will avoid to have like broken stuff in the game or not playable objects if you will do so. I'm actually impressed how many items in The Sims do have this kind of plum bob decorations on them. I love it. If you come to my streams, I can show you that I have this USB plum bob, which is a part of limited edition, or was it called limited edition? I believe it was called collector's edition of The Sims 4 when the game was released. I bought the boxed version, and a part of that limited edition or collector's edition was this USB plum bob which lights, and if you have it connected to your PC while you're playing The Sims, it always has the color of the plum bob of the sim that you have active on your screen. So for example, if your sim is sleeping, the plum bob turns purple, and I think it's a really cute detail and I love it. Mine is still working. I heard that some people don't have it working anymore, and it is making me sad that, of course, it's electronics and one day it's gonna stop working, so I try to save it. But I have this one with me, and it's my Sims 4 plum bob that is a little cute detail and reminds me that I bought The Sims 4 when it was released more than 10 years ago. But yeah, this is almost coming to the end. The video is almost finished. I would like to wish to The Sims and The Sims team happy birthday to The Sims, and I hope that you will enjoy this build and anniversary of The Sims, and I will see you in the next video.